Hi y'all, this is So Blessed. Welcome to the Blessed Place. How y'all doing? Welcome to an unedited chat. Yes, I know, long time no see, unless you're one of my Facebook friends, which I welcome you to be if you like. Dieidre, D-I-E-I-D-R-E, there's two D's, two I's, two E's, one R. D-I-E-I-D-R-E, Hillary, H-I-L-L-E-R-Y. Not as in Clinton, but as in E-R-Y. So that's where I am. If you ever say, where is Dieidre? Where is So Blessed? I'm over there at So Blessed 1 on Instagram, and I'm over on Facebook. Anyways, now all of that out the way. I tried to wait till there was better lighting, but if I did that, I wouldn't even talk to y'all. Let me take these glasses off. My daughter always remind me, Mom, people want to see your eyes. So yes, y'all. Okay, let's just get right into it, into this unedited chat. Y'all, I would say the months of August, September, and October, and really the whole year from December to, I'm gonna go back, take you back to, picture it, October 2018. My husband comes to me and say, I want to move. And then he says, most of y'all know the story, so I won't rehash it and belong the time. You got to be church to know, understand that belong the time. No, you got to be Southern church to understand that belong the time. But, yeah, he just turned my life all upside down. Said he want to move, want to close our church. He was a pastor. 10 years we had our church, Glorious Community Church of Deltona, and then our peeps watching. Hello, miss y'all. So then we go, he wants to move to Georgia. No, not just across town, a whole nother state. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm a Floridian, born and raised. So we come to Georgia, look for a house, and in 1 month from the time he said he want to move to the time we purchased a house was about a month. My life just turned totally a different direction. Closed our church in December, and we moved to Georgia. Well, although we moved, I kept my jobs here in Florida. At that time, I was working for a sheriff's office and full-time for a police department. Law enforcement is where I've been for 30 years, is what I know, and it's what I love. And it's hard to, oh, there's some better lighting. So anyways, being a creature of habit, and not wanting to get out of my comfort zone, I wanted to keep my jobs. And not only that, but I was getting paid well, and looking at jobs in Georgia, I wasn't going to get paid for the 30 years of experience that I had here. Okay, you guys, so we moved to Georgia, Rockmart, Georgia. People say, where is Rockmart? And those who know what Rockmart is say, why would you move from Florida to Rockmart? But I absolutely love where I live, love our new house, but I also love my jobs here. So for a whole year, I've been going back and forth. Now count it. It's about 500 miles from where I live here in Sanford, Florida, to my doorstep in Rockmart, Georgia. It's about like 489. Now multiply 489 miles times almost 52 weeks. Either I have been going there or my husband has been coming here to visit me, and that's how much we've been traveling. And sometimes even more than that, because in a week we can make 2 trips. Anyways, you guys, so let's just move forward to this year. The last 3 months of August, September, and October. Those have been the hardest 3 consecutive months of my entire life. Now, I would say they were the hardest time of my life, because I think one of the hardest times was when my dad passed about 7 years ago. Miss you, Daddy. But the hardest 3 consecutive months of my life has been 2019 of August, September, and October. And also conflicted because there were some good times in there too. So I was kind of conflicted about my emotions there. But let's just, talk about a few highlights or lowlights, why it was so hard. Number one, it was hard financially because it was extremely difficult financially. And the main reason why is because I had, hold on, I'm trying to see where I'm at work. making that shmoney. I shouldn't be saying shmoney. Anybody over 30 years old probably shouldn't be saying shmoney. Anyways, let me see. Let's see how the lighting is here. Okay, this is good. I'm at work. I got almost 30 minutes before I got to be inside. So I quit my full-time job in April of 2019 because going home every weekend and spending getting home late Friday night, having Saturday at home, and then getting on the road Sunday after church and getting back here in Florida late Sunday night was just taking a toll. So I quit my full-time job and kept my part-time job. Well, after, months and months of that and using up, savings that I had built up at the full-time job, things just started getting tight because then my husband, he found a job immediately in Georgia, but he's making far less than what he was making in Invacare, at least for a while, because he had to start with a temporary service. And then eventually after 90 days from the temporary service, then, they bumped him up in pay and hired him on full, permanently. So thank you, Jesus, for that. But anyways, you guys, so that's where, where the finances, started to dwindle. But then also too, another thing that happened was my husband's daughter. Many of you might be like, I didn't know your husband had a daughter. I hear y'all talk about the son. I hear y'all talk about your daughter. But anyway, my husband has a daughter. She was the oldest. She's the oldest, and then it's Derica, and then it was Charles Jr. And she lived in Pennsylvania. But she passed away. She was only 32. She passed away from a heart condition. And they believe she had maybe a heart attack in her sleep. And so my husband, they called me. Actually, our son called me and said, Miss D, that's what he called. Miss D, can you reach my dad? My sister dead. And so, now let me just go back just a few minutes. That morning, I got up to pray. I got up and I said, I'm not turning on my phone until I pray and talk to Jesus. So I prayed, I turned on my phone, and I see these messages, notifications rolling in. And I see that one of our very close friends, who's also a church member, and I would consider her like a spiritual daughter to us, I see that she had called at 2-something in the morning, and I immediately knew, first of all, she's not one to just call you. I immediately knew something terrible had happened for her to call and leave a voicemail at 2-something in the morning. I listened to the voicemail, and it's just like, Ms. D, please give me a call back. Call her back, find out that her son had been killed. I called Charles at work. And I had to have like HR reach him because I couldn't reach him on his phone. And I tell him that, our spiritual son had been killed. Y'all, no lie. 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes after calling my husband to tell him about our spiritual son, our son called us and say, my sister died. And I said, do you mean Dwan, the other young? He was like, no, I know about Dwan, Miss D, but no, my sister died. I have to call my husband back. I have to call HR back to reach my husband again and tell him, baby, I know I just gave you the news that our spiritual son, but Natasha, our daughter, has also died. I mean, my husband got this news within 30 to 40 minutes of each other. That was rough. Not only that was rough, then my husband had to go to Pennsylvania and eulogize. They wanted him to do the eulogize his own daughter. In addition to that, we assisted with the funeral costs, and then there's travel costs, and there's hotel costs. And as soon as he's done with that, they asked him to eulogize Dwan. So immediately after that, being in Pennsylvania, he has to drive to Florida and eulogize a spiritual son. I can imagine the emotional toll. Even though he did an excellent job, I can imagine the emotional toll, that had on him. The emotional toll it had on me is that I couldn't be there to support my husband because I had to be in Florida to work. Now, when I say I had to, at that time I was part-time. I could have easily taken off. I could have easily told them, my daughter died. Definitely, my job would have had no problem with that. But if I don't work, I don't get paid, because at that time I was part-time and I didn't have those benefits of time off and all of that, paid time off. We needed the money. At this time now, we're about drowning financially, and we need the money. So we make the decision that I stay here and work. He and our son and some family members drove to Pennsylvania, and then when he came here for the funeral, I was with him here at Dewan's funeral. But that was tough, not being with my husband. And even though that was a decision that we made, if you follow me on Instagram, you already know I had a hard time. I was basically crying on Instagram, and you wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people who do follow me there on Instagram just consoled me and supported me and encouraged me, and it was awesome. I just love you guys. My whole community, whether you're my community here or on Instagram or on Facebook or on all three. Some of my blessed ones. If you follow me on all three, y'all give me a number 3. If you follow me on 2, give me a 2. If you follow me here on YouTube, give me a 1. I don't care, and I don't know if there's somewhere else you can follow me, but I don't care if it's a 1, 2, or 3. I appreciate you. So, but I would love to know. I would love to know if you were 1, 2, or 3. If you follow me on all 3 of those social media, or 2 of them, or just 1. Anyways, you guys, so yeah, so I had a breakdown there. That was tough emotionally. My husband was going through emotionally because he and his daughter honestly weren't that close. They had like a strained relationship. They you know how you can have a closeness in heart, love each other, but strained relationally. So that's how they had a strained, just to be honest, to tell the truth and shame the devil. And so now afterwards, after she passed away, my husband is now questioning and second guessing his fatherhood and what he could have done differently and better. And so I encourage you there that whatever your relationship is, mother-daughter, father-son, mother-son, whatever, sister, siblings, life is short. I don't have to go on about that because we already know life is so short. Please don't sweat the small stuff. And basically everything is small stuff when comparatively to how short this life is. So anyways, let me just speed this up because it's time for me to get into work, and I'm also at 13 minutes. But y'all, it's been so long and so much to say. It'd probably be not a part 2 because people don't really like part 2, but there's more to come. Anyways, but just to wrap this up, things were tough emotionally. Also, too, my birthday was August 28th, which was 3 days after we heard about the death of both Dewan and our daughter Natasha. And my husband asked me what I want to do, and I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to go celebrate anything. He was like, no, we got to go do something. So we went to Red Lobster, we ate, and it was a quiet kind of, dinner. I enjoyed being with my husband, but there was that cloud of sadness and mourning over us. But I was eternally grateful to God to be turning 53 because many people did not make it to 53. Also in there, I took a cruise. This is, a little bit later after, the deaths and the traveling and all that. I took a cruise. The cruise had already been paid for, had already been planned for, and I didn't want to cancel it. And the main reason I didn't want to cancel, number one, there was no refund on our money. But secondly, my daughter was going to be moving away to Thailand, and this was our going away cruise. Ironically enough, one time before, she was going away to Mexico to play basketball. This is kind of earlier in her youth. Maybe like 5 years previous, she was going away to play professional basketball in Mexico, and we had planned a trip, a cruise, and paid for it and everything. And she got called to go to Mexico earlier or something like that, and she gave her cruise away to Danica. So Danica and I cruised. So this was Derica's and I's second attempt to cruise just together. She and I, we've been on many cruises together, but always with family. We never cruised just the both of us. So this was now our second attempt. So I said all that to say why I didn't cancel, even in the midst of all of this emotional stuff and financial deprivation. We had already paid when money was good and times were good. We had already paid for this cruise, and like I said, and she was going away soon to Thailand. So we go on the cruise, had a wonderful time. Went on, I can't remember now, Harmony. I think we went on, Mariner of the Sea, Royal Caribbean's Mariner of the Sea. I highly recommend that cruise ship. It is now my new favorite cruise ship. And they have the perfect day at Coco Cay. We had a perfect day at Coco Cay. Really enjoyed the cruise, but even on the cruise and had a wonderful time, I still was conflicted. Why am I cruising when our daughter just died? Why am I cruising when our spiritual son has just died? Why am I cruising when my husband is going through the tough, one of the toughest, well, I won't say he's going through a lot of emotional stuff, but why am I cruising when he's going through this? But it is what it is. And then after that, I went on a 7-day vacation with my sisters and my mom. It was our 16th annual Hillary Girls outing, where we get together in one house over in Davenport, which is near Kissimmee, Orlando area. And this was our 16th annual year. Well, now we're going through all of this emotional stuff, and I don't want to cancel that either, because again, it's our 16th year. So I go on that, we have a wonderful time, but I'm still riddled with this guilt of we're going through financially, we're going through emotionally, we're going through spiritually. Why am I here? But I still had a wonderful time with my family. And then after that, my husband and I, we decided that I would go full time back at my job. Number one, free insurance. You know, we need the money. I love what I do, et cetera, et cetera. So on October 23rd, I went full time back here at my job that I was working part time, where I retired from in 2010. So I know it's a bit much, hard to follow, but I was here for 22 and a half years, retired in 2010, was gone to another agency for eight years, left there this April 2019, and came back here to my other job that I was here 22 and a half years, and now I'm back full time. Okay, and now I'm about to go in there and work some overtime. God has been blessing. I've been working overtime. My husband has been working overtime. He's been coming here to visit me. I go home. We're working this thing out. We're working this long distance thing out. It is good. God is good. Things are on the up. We're coming up. I'm coming out. Oh, that ain't, I'm coming up. Moving on up. So we're moving on up. God is good. Everything's all good. And I'll update you all. I'm sure there's so much more. There's so much more. But those are the highlights. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for still being here. I love y'all. Y'all be blessed.